If your palette had a warning label, would you still use it? Or would you throw it across the room like it jumped you? Because some makeup palettes look adorable, smell normal, and still come with stop yeast warnings tied to specific lot numbers. And that is the part nobody tells you in those cute get ready with me videos. Today we are exposing 7 palettes you should stop using, plus 3 safer picks that keep the glam without the stress. And I am keeping it simple. Check the code, know the risk, and protect your face. Stay with me because number 1 is the one that shocks everyone. Number 7. Juvia's Place Culture Palette. Have you ever looked at a gorgeous eyeshadow palette and thought, I'm going to look like a literal dream tonight, only to end up looking like you've been crying for 3 days straight? That's the gamble you're taking with this one. And honestly, it feels like a betrayal. Juvia's Place is famous for those high pigment colors that pop on every skin tone, but they've tucked a massive secret into the how to use section. If you actually look at the 30 shades in the Culture palette, almost every pan, specifically shades 2 through 30, comes with a warning that says, not intended for your eye area. Think about that for a second. You bought an eyeshadow palette that you aren't supposed to put on your eyes. Your eyelid skin is barely 1 millimeter thick, which is why it reacts so fast when you hit it with unapproved pigments. The moment that powder touches your lid, the irritation kicks in. Your eyes start watering, and you end up rubbing those harsh chemicals right into your lash line. This isn't just some random internet drama or a hater leaving a bad review. This is straight from Ulta and Juvia's own website. They're basically covering their backs legally while you risk a nasty stinging sensation that can last all night. If you're really dying to use those shades, keep them at least 3 millimeters away from your lashes, or just treat them like a face pigment for your cheeks. Why does a brand sell a 30-pan palette where you can only safely use like 2 shades on your actual lids? It's wild, and it's exactly why this is sitting at number 7. But the stakes get way higher when the danger starts floating in the air. Number 6. ColourPop Whatever Eyeshadow Palette. Imagine you're getting ready for a date. The lighting is perfect, and you decide to go for that warm fall aesthetic with 12 cute shades. Halfway through the night, you feel something scratching your eyeball, and suddenly your vision is blurry and your eye is bright red. That's the Whatever palette experience for a lot of girls because 3 of those pans come with a hidden safety warning. They call them pressed glitters and pressed pigments, but what they should call them is tiny shards of plastic looking for a way into your tear film. The American Academy of Ophthalmology isn't playing around when they say these glitter flakes can scratch your cornea or lead to a full-blown infection. If you look at the back of the box, you'll see ingredients like polyethylene terephthalate, basically the same material they use to make plastic soda bottles. Do you really want soda bottle plastic rubbing against your pupil all night? This becomes a massive problem for anyone who wears contact lenses, because those flakes get trapped under the lens and act like sandpaper. It's ironic how they called it the Whatever palette, because that's exactly the attitude they have toward your long-term eye health. You're paying for 12 shades but only getting a few that won't leave you in the emergency room at 2 a.m. with a scratched cornea. But if you think a few flakes are bad, wait until you see the palette that turns into a gritty trapdoor for your skin. Number 5. ColourPop Fade Into Hue. This palette is basically Instagram bait with 30 rainbow shades that look incredible in a flat lay photo. But using it is like walking through a minefield. ColourPop loves to slip in that tiny little asterisk on their product page, hoping you're too distracted by the sparkly colors to notice the danger. Multiple shades in this rainbow dream are explicitly not for eye use. And when you dig into the ingredients, it's a total mess of polybutylene terephthalate. That's a heavy-duty plastic that has zero business being near your delicate eyelid skin. Yet here it is sitting in your makeup bag. The AAO safety notes are terrifyingly clear. These metallic powders can fall into your eye and cause permanent irritation or even scarring. If you're a 12-hour-a-day makeup wearer, those gritty particles are migrating the entire time you're at work or out with friends. The FDA actually has a list of color additives that are approved for the eyes, and many of these bright pigments didn't make the cut. It's not just internet panic. It's literally about the legal marketing rules that keep companies from harming us. Why would you risk your actual eyesight for a shimmer that you could get from a safer, eye-safe formula? Fade Into Hue is still sitting in people's shopping carts right now in 2026, which is honestly alarming when you know what's inside. But as bad as the glitter is, the next palette on our list is hiding something that stays in your body for a lifetime. If you're finding real value in what you're hearing, Hit that like and subscribe button so you're always in the loop on what's safe and what's not in the ever-changing beauty industry. Your skin health actually matters to us, and so does your opinion. Tell us in the comments if you use any of the products listed. Number 4. Urban Decay Naked 2 Basics. This is the one that really hurts because we all grew up trusting Urban Decay as the holy grail of neutral mattes. You see 6 simple shades and think it's the safest, most straightforward purchase you can make. But the ingredient list says otherwise. Tucked away in those mattes is a little something called PTFE, which is basically the scientific name for the stuff they coat non-stick frying pans with. In the world of 2026, we're finally waking up to the fact that these are forever chemicals, or PFAS, and the FDA is getting concerned. On December 29, 2025, they released a report saying they don't have enough data to confirm these chemicals are safe, when you're literally rubbing them into your skin every morning. The CDC has found that these chemicals can affect your liver, and even your immune system in lab studies. Now, obviously, you aren't eating your eyeshadow, but your skin is your largest organ, and it absorbs everything you put on it. If you're a woman in your 20s or 30s trying to live a cleaner lifestyle, this palette is basically a tiny toxic bomb sitting on your vanity. Urban Decay still sells this on every major site, which means millions of people are still exposing themselves to industrial chemicals just to achieve a smooth matte look. It's a long-term risk that simply isn't worth it, especially when you realize the next palette on the list does the exact same thing but on a much bigger scale. Number 3. ColourPop Stone Cold Fox Eyeshadow Palette. If the Naked Basics was a warning shot, this 30-pan palette is a full-on invasion of chemicals you don't want in your body. It looks like the perfect cool-toned dream, but if you scan the ingredient list on Ulta or ColourPop's own page, that PTFE word pops up again. It's used to give the shadows that silky, water-resistant feel that makes them last all day. But at what cost to your health? The FDA's 2025 report specifically called out these intentionally added PFAS because they have no idea what the cumulative effect is on your system. Think about your routine. If you're using this 5 days a week for years, you're essentially accumulating forever chemicals daily. The toxicology data is missing, which means the brand is basically saying, we'll figure out if it's toxic later, just buy it now. The ATSDR overview flags liver and immune impacts as a major concern, and that's why this palette is sitting at number 3. It's a daily use product for a lot of people, and that cumulative exposure is where the real danger lives. You're trying to look polished for your 9 to 5, but you're potentially compromising your health in the long game. It's the ultimate personal decision. Do you want industrial chemicals on your face? Or do you want to keep your body clean? But wait, because as scary as the chemicals are, the next one was actually recalled for something living. Number 2. The Creme Shop Pusheen Strawberry Daydream. This palette is so cute it almost makes you overlook the unsettling truth hiding inside the pans. It's a 9-pan pastel dream that looks like it belongs on a teenager's vanity. But CVS had to issue a major recall notice on March 12, 2025. The reason? Potential mold contamination that turned this daydream into a total nightmare for anyone who purchased it. When you hear mold, you probably think of a bad piece of bread, but on your eyes, it's a biological hazard. Your makeup sits in a humid bathroom, gets touched by your warm fingers, and then you close the lid and let the bacteria thrive for 30 days. That mixture of body heat and humidity turns a tiny contamination into a full colony of harmful growth. If that mold gets near your tear ducts, your eyes are going to be red, itchy, and swollen before you even finish your morning coffee. The news coverage was extensive, and the official guidance was simple. Stop using it immediately and request your refund. There are no second chances with microbial growth near your vision, especially if you already struggle with allergies or sensitive skin. This is the definition of a hard pass. Yet some people are still finding these in discount bins or forgotten drawers. If you see it, walk away, because the number 1 spot on this list involves a word that has terrified the beauty industry for decades. Number 1. Klairs Powder Eyeshadow Palettes. We all have memories of going to the mall and picking out a glittery palette from Klairs when we were younger. But that nostalgia comes with a deadly serious warning. This isn't just about irritation or mold. This is about tremolite asbestos. Back in 2019, the FDA had to issue a public safety alert because specific batches of Klairs makeup were testing positive for asbestos fibers. They even released the batch numbers, like lot number 08/17. So this isn't some conspiracy theory. It's a documented public health crisis. Because talc and asbestos often occur side by side in nature, companies that don't rigorously test can accidentally combine them. Asbestos is a serious long-term health risk that can linger for decades. And in powder form, you inhale it every time you tap your brush. The FDA told consumers to stop using these products immediately. Claire's has attempted to clean up their act, but the brand is now permanently associated with the scariest word in cosmetics history. In 2026, why choose a brand with that kind of safety record? It's big sister advice. Cheap and cute isn't safe. But don't worry, because I'm not leaving you without some genuinely safe alternatives to consider. Safe pick number 3. W3 Well L People Power Palette Eyeshadow. If you're looking for a palette that's practical and easy to find at Target or Ulta, W3 Well L People is basically your new best friend. They stripped away the 30-pan excess and gave us a 5-shade power palette designed for your face, not a lab experiment. Instead of industrial chemicals, they use grapeseed and jojoba oils to give the shadow a luxurious slip and feel, staying on through a long workday without irritating your lids. No trapdoor glitters to scratch your eye. It's a transparent, honest option for people who want to look good without the stress. The EWG database gives it a solid score, far better than the plastic-filled rainbow palettes we mentioned. Safe pick number 2. Bare Minerals Mineralist Talc-Free Eyeshadow Palette. If you want to eliminate the risk of asbestos and heavy metal contamination in one move, look for 2 words: talc-free. Bare Minerals built their reputation on being the clean choice, and this palette is a total green flag. Since they don't use talc, they've completely avoided the biggest safety issue in the makeup world. Ulta lists this as long-wearing and crease-proof, so you aren't sacrificing performance for safety. Every tap of your brush won't release harmful dust into your bathroom air. It's the smart, reliable pick. Maybe not as flashy as a 30-shade rainbow, but it won't land you in the doctor's office. Safe pick number 1. Ilia, the Necessary Eyeshadow Palette. Ilia is the gold standard. They literally state in their FAQ that their palettes are formulated without talc. When you use the Necessary palette, you get beautiful neutrals and a formula built to be eye-safe from day one. No, not for eye area warnings, no hidden plastic glitters, no industrial PFAS. Always patch test, but starting with a base this clean is a major win. Avoid palettes with alarming asterisks. Stay away from pressed glitters near your lash line and stick to brands that genuinely care about your well-being. You've been told to suffer for beauty, but in 2026 we choose safety over sparkle. Now that you know what's hiding in your drawer, will you toss the toxic stuff or keep taking the risk? That is the list. 7 palettes you should stop using, and 3 safer picks you can grab without second-guessing your own makeup bag. Next time you feel tempted to hold on to an old palette just because it's cute, think twice and put your face first. So, which product on this list shocked you the most? And which safe pick would you actually wear on a random Tuesday? Drop it in the comments. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss the next beauty deep dive, because the next story is already waiting in your drawer. Thanks for watching.